Thursday night lights are on and the engines are idling here at Mosport. This is it, the curtain raiser for the VVS Super Sprint Championship. 20 races ahead of us this season, and we're kicking off with a massive quadruple header tonight.
12 minutes plus a lap. That's a blink of an eye in racing terms. You can't afford a slow start or even a single lap of finding your feet. If you aren't on it from the green light, you're buried in the mid-pack.
It's a high-pressure way to start the campaign. One mistake in this opening race could compromise the entire evening with 3 more rounds to follow immediately after.
At a place like this, there's just no room for error. I remember my first sprint race here. My heart rate didn't drop below 160 the entire time. These drivers will be feeling that massive adrenaline surge right now.
Elliot Norton has claimed the prime real estate for this opener, but Martin Moll is right there alongside him. With 24 points for a win, neither of them will be willing to give an inch when those lights go out.
David Constable-Berry in P3 is in a dangerous spot too. He can see both those rear wings. In a 12-minute sprint, you have to be aggressive early. If you wait for the race to come to you, it'll be over before you've made a move.
It's a packed grid further back, Chris Stokes and Rich Snape locking out the third row. With 21 cars in total, the mid-pack is going to be absolute chaos through those opening corners.
I've been in that position, and the spray and the noise are deafening. For guys like Ben Nadine starting at the back, it's all about survival. You can't win the championship in the first turn of race 1, but you can certainly lose it.
The lights go green and we are racing. Norton gets a solid jump, but Moll is right there with him as the field charges away.
Moll's got a nose ahead on the outside. Everyone's fighting for every millimeter of tarmac as they funnel into the first corner.
Adam Tyas is on the move already. He's just muscled his way past Nigel Walters to take 16th.
Tyas isn't wasting any time. When you're starting that far back, you have to capitalize on the opening lap chaos while everyone else is still finding their rhythm.
Greg Szabo is hounding Phil Bodkin, and there he goes. He's snatched 11th place away on the run into the next sequence.
He really committed to that. Bodkin might have been struggling for grip there, but Szabo didn't hesitate for a second.
Ben Nadine is starting his recovery drive. He's just picked off Kosick at the tail end of the field to move up a spot.
That's the first hurdle cleared. When you're stuck at the back, you have to be decisive like that, or you just get bogged down in the dirty air and lose the pack.
Jody Fannin dives down the inside of Dorado, and that is a clinical move to take 7th place.
He used the slipstream perfectly there, but he can't relax because Hallam is already hounding his rear bumper.
The gap is shrinking by the millisecond as they head into the next braking zone. Hallam is looking very racy, and Hallam gets it done. A bold move around the outside to snatch 7th away from Fannin.
Fannin fires right back. He has reclaimed the position before Hallam could even settle in. That is top-tier racecraft.
Phil Bodkin is on a tear, carving past Stokes and Szabo in a single lap. Heavy impact, though. He's gone straight into the barriers.
That is a massive hit. He's collected Dorado and Constable-Berry as he's spinning back out. He's just a passenger in that situation.
He's trying to get it moving again, but the momentum is gone. Walters and Kosick both stream past the damaged car.
The steering must be bent. Nadine and Fovarg are through easily. When you have that much contact, the car never feels the same again.
It's getting even worse. Another collision with Adam Tyas. Cormac takes advantage of the chaos too, and Bodkin is down to 18th. Darren Nickel is dropping through the field like a stone. A whole train of cars is just power sliding past him.
He must have had a massive moment. Fovarg capitalizes immediately, sliding past Neil Constable-Berry to move up.
Wait, Ben Nadine is right there too. He lunges down the inside of Fovarg to snatch that spot back.
It's frantic out there. You gain a position, and before you can even check your mirrors, you've lost it again.
Fovarg isn't done yet, though. He's tucked back into the slipstream and powers past Constable-Berry once more. Kosick finds a way past Walters for that final top 10 spot.
Walters isn't having it. He switches back immediately and dives back up the inside to reclaim the position.
Fovarg has made the move stick on Kosick to move himself up into 11th place.
Kosick isn't letting him away with it. He lunges back up the inside and regains the position immediately.
Drama at the front. Martin Moll has lost the lead as both Norton and Constable-Berry sweep past him.
Moll got hung out to dry there, but look at Constable-Berry. He's already looking for a way past Norton for the win.
And he's done it. Constable-Berry leads, and now Norton is falling into the clutches of Jimmy Lindo.
Lindo gets the move done, but Norton fights back immediately. He's back up the inside to reclaim second.
This is a three-way war for the lead. Now Norton is desperate to get back on the tail of Constable Barry.
Contact. Norton and Constable Barry have come together. I've been in that spot. Neither driver wanted to yield, and they've both paid the price.
Martin Mole is falling back, Fannon's through, and oh, he's hit the barriers hard.
He's just a passenger now as Snape and Bontakas fly past him. That is a podium hope gone in a split second.
He's done it. Elliot Norton fends them off to take the first win of the season. That was an absolute masterclass in defensive driving under immense pressure.
Incredible. David Constable Barry was right on his gearbox across the line, with Jimmy Lindo just a fraction behind. Those three were inseparable at the end.
Norton picks up the full 24 points, exactly the start he wanted. But Constable Barry and Lindo have shown they have the pace to challenge him all night long.
I've finished races with gaps that small. You're basically holding your breath for the final laps. It's a huge result for Norton after that mid-race drama.
Norton takes the first spoils of the season, but it wasn't without drama. That mid-race contact with David Constable Barry nearly handed the win to Lindo, yet they both recovered to stay on the podium.
It was a proper war of attrition for a 12-minute sprint. Phil Bodkin's massive shunt into the barriers, and Martin Moll's late heartbreak really shook up the order.
19 races left in this championship, and the intensity is already at a boiling point. The mid-pack battles were relentless, especially with Fovarg and Nadine swapping paint.
If this race is any indication of how the rest of the season will go, these drivers won't have a spare second to breathe. The points gap is tiny, and the pressure is only going to ramp up from here.
The table is live, and Elliot Norton holds a 3-point lead over David Constable Barry after that opening win. 25 points is the perfect start to his campaign.
Rich Snape in 5th is the real standout for me, punching well above his weight there. But Martin Moll in 7th? He was a front-runner for most of that race. That late drop-off has really hurt his standing.
Down at the bottom, Chris Stokes and Greg Sabo have a mountain to climb with a big fat 0 next to their names.
No points in the first race of a quadruple header is a nightmare. They need to find pace and stay out of trouble immediately, or this season will slip away from them before it's even truly begun.
Niall Gagan on pole with Phil Bodkin alongside him. This reverse grid has flipped a championship logic on its head for race 2. It's a total reset for the field.
This is the ultimate test. Elliot Norton and David Constable Barry were the class of the field minutes ago, and now they're buried in 19th and 18th. They've gone from clean air to staring at a wall of 20 cars.
For Gagan and Adam Tyus up in 3rd, this is a golden opportunity to bank points while the heavy hitters are busy fighting through traffic.
I've been at the back of these grids. You're just praying for a clean opening lap. Norton has to be clinical. If he gets impatient and damages that car trying to force a move, he'll undo all the hard work from race 1.
The lights go out, and we're racing at Mosport once again. Gagan gets a clean launch from pole, but Phil Bodkin is right on his hammer into the first turn.
Tyus is looking for a gap already, and further back, the big names are swarming. Norton is already trying to go 3 wide into the complex.
Jody Fannin is on a mission from the back. He's already picked off Darren Nickel to move into 15th.
He's making it look easy, but he needs to keep this momentum up. In a sprint like this, every second spent in traffic is a second the leaders are escaping.
Kosick finds a way past Cormac for 8th, but wait, contact. Cormac has just sent Kosick spinning into the grass.
Oh, that's poor. He's punted him right at the apex. The stewards are all over it. Penalty for Cormac. You just can't do that, especially this early in the race.
Elliot Norton is flying through the pack. He's cleared Constable Barry and Stokes, and now he's picking through the remains of that Kosick and Cormac incident.
Contact again. Norton and Constable Barry have rubbed shoulders once more, but Norton isn't lifting. He's just powered past Rich Snape to take 14th.
Martin Moll is slipping back early in this lap. Rich Snape has just muscled his way past into 13th.
Big contact there. Moll and Buntakis have come together. It looks like Moll's trying to stay aggressive, but that car's hopping all over the curbs.
Bounticus and Stokes both capitalize on the chaos to get ahead. Moll is really under fire now as the pack swarms him.
He's lost another one to Nicole. Once you're off the line and battling like that, your tire temps just spike, and you've got no grip to defend.
Great recovery, though. Moll's found his feet again and just dispatched Tyus and Hallam to reclaim 14th. Stokes gets the move done, but Snape thumps the back of him. The stewards aren't happy with that at all. That's a warning for the contact.
He's made up for it quickly, following Stokes past Neil Constable Barry, then picking off Nigel Walters. That was a frantic few seconds for Snape.
Kosick is dropping back. First Stokes, then Constable barrier passed, and Kosick is into the wall.
That is a nightmare. He's just pinballing off the barriers now. You can't get the car back under control once it starts tank slapping like that.
He's hit it again. Greg Szabo cruises past as Kosick finally tries to get that car pointed in the right direction. Greg Szabo has lost it. He's gone straight into the barriers, a heavy impact for the number 18 car.
He's hit it again, trying to rejoin. That's purely down to frustration. You've got to keep your head in these situations or you just make it worse.
Robert Cormack doesn't need a second invitation. He's through into 13th while Szabo is still gathering it up. Jareth Hallam makes a move on Greg Szabo, and that's 17th place secured for now.
It's a small victory in a tough race for Hallam, but he's showing much better pace now that he's found some clear air.
No. Phil Bodkin was holding onto that podium spot so well, but he's just clouded the barrier.
That's heart-wrenching. He was looking so solid in third. Now Fovarg and Norton are flying past him while he struggles to find a gear.
He's back on track, but the car looks wounded. He's got absolutely no momentum on the run through the next complex.
Nadine and Martin Moll don't care about his bad luck. They're straight through. When you lose the arrow on these radicals, you're just a sitting duck.
And Jody Fannin adds to the misery, demoting Bodkin further down to 8th. A podium dream has turned into a nightmare in the closing minutes. Thomas Kruger Dorado crosses the line to take a massive victory from 4th on the grid. He survived the mayhem and played it perfectly.
That was a mature drive. He didn't get rattled by the faster cars charging through. He just hit his marks and banked a huge 24 points.
Niall Gagan brings it home in 2nd place. A fantastic result from pole position. He really made that car wide today.
He should be proud of that. Holding off the championship leaders for that long in a sprint race is no small feat. That's a trophy well earned.
Hallam and Tyus are trading paint. There's heavy contact as Hallam pushes through into 15th, and they've hit again.
Tyus is clearly struggling after those impacts, and Greg Szabo just breezes past him to take 16th, while Tyus is still gathering it up.
Elliot Norton completes the comeback of the night, from 19th on the grid all the way to a podium finish in 3rd.
Simply sensational. To carve through 16 cars in 12 minutes without binning it. That's why he's leading this championship. That is a champion's drive.
Thomas Kruger Dorado keeps his head to take the win, but the headline has to be Elliot Norton climbing from 19th to 3rd.
I've never seen a recovery like that in such a short sprint. He was clinical. On the flip side, you have to feel for Phil Bodkin, losing a podium so late after hitting the barriers.
It was a messy one further back, with Daniel Kosick finding the wall multiple times and Robert Cormack picking up a penalty for that early lunge.
That's the beauty and the beast of the reverse grid. It forces the quick guys to take huge risks. 18 races to go, and the intensity is only rising.
Elliot Norton is already building a massive gap at the top, 13 points clear after just 2 races. And look at Rich Snape up in 2nd. That consistency is really paying off for him.
Snape's been a revelation, but Thomas Kruger Dorado has vaulted into 4th with that win. He's now deadlocked with Constable Barry and Fannin in a very crowded upper midfield.
It's so volatile right now. Niall Gagan's podium in the last round has dragged him right into the top 10 standings.
Exactly. In my experience, these early rounds are all about banking points while others are making mistakes. If you're consistent, the table looks after itself.
Martin Moll is back at the sharp end where he belongs, starting from pole position for this 3rd round. He really needs a clean run after the roller coaster he's had so far tonight.
He's got Jody Fannin right next to him, and both of them will be looking at Elliot Norton in 4th and thinking about that championship gap. Norton is in a great spot to extend his lead, especially with his closest rival, Rich Snape, buried back in 15th.
Snape's got a mountain to climb if he wants to protect that 2nd place in the standings.
From my time in the cockpit, being at the front of a standard grid is much easier on the nerves than that reverse grid madness we just saw. Moll has to nail the start and use that clean air.
The lights go green and we are racing. Martin Moll gets a great launch from pole, but Jody Fannin is already looking for a gap on the inside.
He's held the lead for now, but look at Norton and Constable Barry right behind them. They are aggressive and hungry for those early gains.
Greg Szabo is moving up early. He's just outbraked Nigel Walters to take 13th place.
He needs this. After a rough start to the evening, getting some early momentum is crucial for his confidence.
Chris Stokes is on the attack. He's just snatched ninth away from Gagan with a clinical move.
Stokes has the pace. He just needs to stay out of the mid-pack scuffles. That was a textbook pass.
Dominic Fovarg is holding firm in 8th place, right in the heart of that high-speed chase through the opening lap.
He's being smart here. At this stage, it's all about staying in the slipstream and managing those tire temps while the race settles down.
Stokes finds a way past Bodkin, but Phil isn't backing down. He's right back down the inside to reclaim 7th.
They're wheel-to-wheel and... oh, there's contact. Bodkin and Stokes have collided. That's exactly what you want to avoid this early on.
Kosick is falling back, first Snape goes by, and now Neil Constable-Berry has squeezed past as well.
He's struggling for rhythm. And, whoa! Kosick has lost it completely and slammed into the barriers. That's a heavy hit.
Phil Bodkin is showing great recovery pace. He's just picked off Thomas Kruger-Dorado for 6th place.
Dorado isn't letting him get away, though. He's hounding the back of that Radical. He wants that spot back immediately.
And there it is! Dorado lunges back up the inside and reclaims 6th position. Fantastic wheel-to-wheel racing from those two. Now Gagan is under massive pressure from Phil Bodkin. They're swapping 7th place back and forth here.
This is intense. Gagan holds him off for a second, but Jareth Hallam has smelled blood and dives through to take the spot instead.
And there goes Bodkin as well. Gagan is suddenly defenseless, dropping down to 9th in a matter of corners.
Fovarg is through now, too. Gagan is falling through the field like he's standing still. He's got to get his head back in the game.
He's trying to stabilize it, but the cars behind are just swarming him. He needs to find some clear air and settle into a rhythm.
Wait, he's fighting back. Gagan lunges back past Dominic Fovarg to reclaim 9th. That's the spirit he needs.
Contact. Nigel Walters has turned right in on Rich Snape. The stewards are straight on it with a warning for Walters.
He's lost all his momentum there. Snape gets past, then Walters tries to fight back, but it's just opening the door for everyone else.
Neil Constable-Berry and Daniel Kosick both stream past as Walters struggles to find the racing line again.
He's really spiraling now. When you have an incident like that, it's so hard to get your focus back. You're just angry in the cockpit.
Robert Cormack and Darren Nickel both pick him off with ease. Walters has dropped all the way down to 18th after that scuffle. Elliot Norton has done it. He's hunted down Martin Mull and snatched the lead of the race.
He's just relentless. Mull put up a great fight from pole, but Norton's pace at the moment is simply on another level.
Elliot Norton takes the checkered flag. Another win for the championship leader, and he's making this look far easier than it actually is.
Martin Mull pushes him all the way to the line for 2nd, and Jody Fannin secures a solid 3rd. Those 3 have been the class of the field this time around.
Norton's consistency is terrifying for the rest of the grid. He's building a huge buffer in the standings tonight.
I've seen drivers get into a zone like this where the car just feels like an extension of themselves. He's found the sweet spot at Mosport, and he's not letting go.
Wait, what's happened there? Adam Tyus and Chris Stokes have collided well after the checkered flag.
That is completely unnecessary. The stewards have already issued a warning to Tyus. You've got to keep it professional until you're back in the pits.
Elliot Norton extends his dominance with another clinical victory, but the battle behind him was where the real fireworks were tonight.
Martin Mull finally got that podium he's been hunting, and Jody Fannin looked incredibly strong in 3rd. But we saw plenty of tempers fraying further back.
That post-race contact between Tyus and Stokes was a bizarre way to end things, especially after the mid-race scrap between Walters and Snape.
17 races still to go, but Norton is quickly becoming the man with the target on his back. Everyone else needs to find an answer, and fast.
Elliot Norton is threatening to turn this championship into a one-man show. He's opened up a 19-point lead. But Martin Mull has vaulted into 2nd after that strong podium finish.
Mull is finally seeing the rewards for his pace, but look at Rich Snape. He was 2nd before that last race, and now he's tumbled down to 7th. It shows how quickly it can all go wrong.
It's incredibly close in that chasing pack, too, with Fannin, Constable-Berry, and Dorado all within 3 points of each other.
When the margins are that thin, you're constantly doing the math in the cockpit. One overtake isn't just for position. It's a massive swing in the overall standings.
Jimmy Lindo has the prime view from pole position for this final race of the evening, but he's got a mirror full of hungry drivers. It's the reverse grid format at its most brutal.
Look at the very back. Our championship leader Elliot Norton is starting 20th, with Martin Mull right next to him. They've got a literal wall of cars to climb if they want to maintain that gap at the top of the standings.
Lindo is currently 14th in the points, so a win here would be a huge boost for his season opener. He needs to capitalize on this start.
He's got to get his head down and check out. If the frontrunners start squabbling, it gives Norton and Mull the chance to close that gap. In my experience, the first 3 laps here are going to be absolute mayhem.
The lights are out, we're racing. Jimmy Lindo gets a fantastic jump, leading the field toward the first complex.
It's a clean start at the front, but look at the back. Norton and Mull are already making it 4 wide as they hunt for a way through.
Adam Tyus is on a charge. He's already moved past Greg Sabo, and now he's hounding Neil Constable-Berry.
He's got it done. Tyus is up into 8th. He's taking no prisoners in these opening seconds. Exactly what you need in a sprint.
Rich Snape is making moves. He's just slipped past Robert Cormack to take 5th place.
Snape's had a tough couple of races, but starting from 7th has given him a lifeline. He looks very focused right now.
Dominic Fovarg is making progress through the mid-pack. He's just snatched 11th from Neil Constable-Berry.
He's been quiet but effective so far tonight. If he can keep picking off cars like that, he'll bank some solid points here.
Bodkin is being swarmed by the pack. Stokes and a whole train of cars are through into the complex.
Stokes hits Nickel. There's contact between them, and that's allowed Martin Mull and Constable-Berry to just breeze on past.
Stokes is really out of shape now. He's lost another position to Jareth Hallam while trying to find the grip.
He's managed to settle the car down, though. A clinical lunge back up the inside of Hallam to get that spot back.
Dorado finds a way past Cormac for 9th, but the battle is far from over as they head into the braking zone.
Cormac dives back through. Wait, no, Dorado switches back and retakes the position immediately. This is brilliant wheel-to-wheel stuff.
Jody Fannin and Cormac are both past Dorado, but there's contact between them. They're rubbing shoulders at high speed.
They've both somehow cleared Gagan despite that scrap. But another hit. Fannin and Cormac are really going at it out there.
That scuffling has cost them momentum, and Chris Stokes is the first to take advantage, slicing past Fannin.
Fannin's lost all his rhythm now. Dorado gets back past him too. Once you're off the racing line in these battles, you're a sitting duck.
It's getting worse for Fannin. Jareth Hallam is the next one to dive through as they head into the next sequence.
And Ben Nadine follows him through. Fannin is tumbling down the order. He needs to settle down before he loses even more ground.
Dominic Fovarg has just pulled off a great move on Adam Tyus to move into 4th place.
He's looked very controlled all race. That podium is within his reach now if he can just keep this pace up.
Martin Mull and David Constable-Berry are carving through. They've both just dispatched Adam Tyus in one go.
They aren't stopping there. They've both just swarmed past Dominic Fovarg as well. That is championship-level driving from those two.
Elliot Norton continues his charge, picking off Phil Bodkin to move up another spot.
Oh no, Bodkin's gone! He's lost it right after the overtake and slammed into the barriers. That car's taken a heavy knock.
Jareth Hallam has found a way past David Constable-Berry. That's a huge scalp to take this late in the race.
Constable-Berry might be struggling with his tires now. Hallam definitely looked the fresher of the two through that last complex.
Jimmy Lindo takes the win. From pole position all the way to the checkered flag, he didn't put a single foot wrong.
That is a massive result for him. He managed that gap perfectly and never let the pressure from behind get to him. Pure class.
Daniel Kozik brings it home in 2nd. A fantastic podium after starting 3rd on this reverse grid.
He really held his nerve there. After a difficult first few races tonight, that's exactly the kind of result he needed to get his season back on track.
And what a result for Greg Sabo. He rounds out the podium in 3rd place after starting from 9th.
He was the silent mover of that race. To pick your way through that chaos and secure a podium is a brilliant achievement. He'll be over the moon with that.
Jimmy Lindo dominated from the front to take a crucial win, but the real story was the recovery drives we saw throughout the field.
Kosic and Sebo joined him on a surprise podium. while the championship heavyweights like Norton and Mole had to fight tooth and nail for every single point.
It was a bruising encounter for Jody Fennon and Phil Bodkin, both having incidents that really hampered their progress in this final sprint of the night.
16 races still to go, but tonight at Mosport has set a very high bar for the rest of the season. The gap at the top is widening, but the pack is hungrier than ever.
What a marathon here at Mosport. 4 races down, 16 to go, and Elliot Norton has firmly planted his flag at the top of the mountain with 79 points. 2 wins on the night. He's the clear benchmark for this championship.
He's got a target on his back, but Martin Mole is right there, only 8 points adrift despite not taking a win yet. Consistency is king in these sprint formats. The real standout for me is Thomas Kruger Dorado sitting in 3rd. That race 2 victory was massive for his campaign.
It's been a roller coaster for the mid-pack. Jimmy Lindo's win in that final sprint was a huge lifeline, catapulting him into 8th, while guys like Chris Stokes and Jody Fannin leave here knowing they have some ground to make up.
I've had nights like theirs where the results don't match the pace. They'll be staring at this table for the next few weeks, calculating every point lost. But with 16 rounds left, there is still everything to play for.